So glad that we've all agreed to finally do this tier list of all my albums. I'm expecting all S tiers, of course.
Oh, shut the fuck up, Taylor. The only reason we agreed to do this was because I'm about to go on the parole board so that maybe we can get out of the jailbreak purgatory we've been trapped in for weeks.
Donnie, you and everyone here knows that you're a die-hard Swiftie. Let's face it. It's about damn time we did this tier list. So let's just shake it off, because I can't contain my excitement for this.
You need to calm down, Joe. There's no reason to scream and cry like an anime girl just because your idea for this tier list didn't get shit on when we were trying to decide on what to do.
I'm damned if I do give a damn what people say, Barack.
Okay, let's just all shut the fuck up and rank the first album. Wow, I can't believe you named your first album Taylor Swift. Did you run out of brain cells or some shit? Even a toddler who hasn't even developed object permanence could probably come up with a more creative album title.
Just shut the fuck up and rank it, you orange piece of shit.
With pleasure. I'm giving this album an F tier. Just the fact that it's all country and it's got the laziest title in recorded human history says it all.
Look, I might not be the biggest country fan, but this album is honestly the exception to all the shitty country albums out there. This shit honestly slaps. Might not go hard, but I'll let Taylor cook with this one.
Yeah, Donnie, as far as country music goes, this is probably the best out of them all. I want to give this album an S tier.
Are you guys on the spectrum or something? There's no way that we're giving this an S tier. This album reminds me of a nightclub in Los Angeles filled with the most sexually confused cowboys on the planet.
All right, look, I'll be willing to drop it down to a C tier since it's country music. But let's face it, it's as good as country music could ever get.
Okay, well, if you sacks of horse shit think that songs like Tim McGraw and Teardrops on My Guitar aren't good enough to carry this to the S tier, fine. I'm fine with the C tier only because there's some fucking bangers as she progresses her music style.
All right, losers, Fearless is up next.
Wait, you literally have two versions of this album. How the fuck are we even supposed to rank them?
Jesus Christ, weren't you, leading the most powerful country on the planet at one point for 4 painful years? Just rank both of them at the same time and place the re-recorded version at a higher ranking than the original one. I think we can all objectively agree that the Taylor's version of all my albums are better than the originals.
Well, I think we can all objectively agree that all your albums are shit. And I'm only here to gain leniency with the courts, since I guess every bitch on this planet is a Swiftie.
All right, let's just shut the fuck up and rank this album. Honestly, this is my favorite album out of all of them, simply because of Love Story and You Belong With Me. Those two songs honestly got me through middle school and high school, even though I was never a spoiled white girl living in the suburbs. S tier for Taylor's version, C tier for the original.
Yeah, I can get on board with that ranking. This album is just iconic as fuck, since it's pretty much the reason why band nerds no longer get swirlied in the bathroom in high school by the roid ragers on the football team.
That's a load of fucking baloney. I guarantee you that kids who listen to Taylor Swift get swirlied every fucking day for getting caught lacking listening to her shitty songs. C tier for Taylor's version, since the acoustics and shit got better from the original version, which I can proudly proclaim as an F.
You're meaning to tell me that you don't headbang to Forever and Always and Change? What about Hey Stephen and Fearless? Come on, Donnie, there's got to be at least one song that you'll like.
I'm sure that when we get to Red, then I'll like something. I'm not a country fan, Joe, never have been and never will. I'll go up to a B tier for Taylor's version and a D tier for the original. You've got a point with Love Story being kind of tits and Forever and Always being something that white girls might be able to relate to.
Well, something's better than nothing. I'm fine with Donnie's ranking only because I agree with him and that I just want to get to Red. Once we start ranking those albums where it gets out of the shitty country niche, then we'll start getting into some boner jams.
All right, the next album is Speak Now, and I just want to be clear. I am making a Taylor's version of this.
Wow, Taylor. Honestly, re-recording this album is a waste of time. Just let that scooter bitch guy, or whatever his name is, keep this flaming pile of dog shit. You'd be doing the world a favor by letting them forget this album ever existed.
Believe me, I already left a flaming pile of dog shit on his front step. In fact, I do it every Saturday. But that's besides the point. The point is that you should just listen to the album instead of assuming it's going to be lame-ass country music. Trust me on this one.
All right, fine, but if my eardrums start bleeding out of my ears like it's that time of the month, then I'm going to sue you for all the proceeds of this album.
A few moments later.
Holy shit, guys. My asshole became my third eye. My anus just became the universe. And Stephen Hawking himself just discovered it. My chocolate fucking starfish. This album is still mid as fuck, Taylor. I don't know what you want me to say or do about that. I'll go C tier. But just like Rick Harrison and Pawn Stars, that's the best I can do.
I personally would have put this at B, since it's basically on par with Fearless.
Yeah, Joe, but you gotta understand that this is still 2010 music quality. We were literally still thinking that bombing random countries in the Middle East was promoting democracy around this time. Not even Green Day could get through some thick-ass skulls. I'll go for the C tier, but let's keep it moving. I want to get to the good shit.
Up next is Red, and I have to say I look pretty fucking hot in this era.
S tier, S tier, S tier,
Can you please fucking elaborate why, Joe?
S tier, S tier, S tier.
Okay, well, that was fucking helpful. I listened to this when Taylor's version dropped, and it was pretty fucking solid. I'm willing to give the Taylor's version of Red an S tier, but when I listened to the original just now, I damn near shit, puke, and came all at the same time. While I was happy, free, confused, and lonely while I was listening to Taylor's version, I'm confident in saying that listening to the original made me depressed, shit-faced, high, and academically challenged at the same time.
Yeah, let's just drop the original at the C tier. We can honestly just put all the originals at C while we just inflate the rankings for the re-recorded versions to astronomically high levels.
S tier, S tier, S tier.
Okay, Joe, I can see that you found my Mollies and Percocets I stashed in Air Force One when I was still in office. But I'm glad we all agreed fairly quickly with Red. Let's move on to 1989.
Wait, can we at least fangirl over All Too Well? You call me up again just to break me like a promise? So casually cruel in the name of being honest?
Joe, we can do that shit later. But right now, 1989 is on, and I'm about to throw it back to Shake It Off.
All right, guys, 1989 is up. This album is filled with some bangers and boner jams, so let's get to ranking.
We got Blank Space Style, Shake It Off, Bad Blood, Wildest Dreams. Do I need to say any more? This album is a straight fucking S tier. Hardest S tier I can bestow on anything. This album is filled with so much iconic shit that it makes Taylor Swift more iconic than Santa Claus. We might as well be leaving out vodka and cookies for Taylor Swift every night.
Hard agree. How You Get the Girl is how I pulled Michelle. This album is just the S tier of all albums.
Well, I'm not so sure about that. I mean, you literally have Nevermind by Nirvana, Abbey Road by the Beatles, Thriller by Michael Jackson. You must be tripping hard fucking balls if you think 1989 is the S tier of all albums. But for the sake of this video, I'm down to put this at an S tier. It's pretty good, but please never regurgitate that diarrhea line out of the anus you call a mouth.
All right, fine. I'm just glad we can all agree that this album is an S tier. Ready for it?
Ready for what, dip ass?
You see, I was trying to do like a fucking segue into Reputation. You know, the first song of the album is Ready for It.
That was a terrible fucking segue, and you should be ashamed of yourself. Next album, let's just get to it.
S tier, S tier,
Alrighty, Reputation, what are we thinking?
S tier, S tier, S.
Joe, for fuck's sake, please stop.
Fine, but every motherfucker on the planet Earth knows that this album is a banger. Delicate is probably my favorite song, and it fucking hard carries it, and it doesn't even have to.
Look, I can agree with an S tier for Reputation. But are we really going to forget that Look What You Made Me Do exists? That song sends chills down spines and piss down pants. It's a song that goes hard in the paint.
Guys,
Joe,
guys,
you
guys,
gotta
hello?
understand that
Shake it
this
off,
is still
Bad Blood,
2010
Wildest
music.
Dreams.
Jesus
Do I need
Christ,
to
are
say
these
any more?
pathetic
This album
excuses
is
for
literally
ape
still
shit really
thinking
doing
that
this right
bombing
now?
random
Hardest
countries in the
S tier I
Middle
can
East
bestow
Hold
was
on, let me
promoting
get my air horn
democracy.
real quick.
This album is
Okay, now that you two pussy farts stopped arguing about this fucking album, let's just fucking rank it. While you two inbreds were bickering, I took the liberty of listening to the album. It's pretty good. I can see it at S tier. Getaway Car goes hard. I might have to add that to my prison mixtape.
For sure, well, that was pretty easy. I have a feeling the next one might be a bit difficult for all of us to get on board with, though.
Well, what's the next one?
Next album to rank is Lover. I don't know how y'all would be split on this one, though. All three of you seem pretty gay to me.
Oh, hardy har har, Taylor. So fucking funny. Honestly, Cruel Summer is the only song I fuck with on this album. Everything else just seems like a unicorn tripping on LSD.
I mean, Cruel Summer is a banger, but how the fuck are you just going to overlook The Man? That song is an absolute banger, and the music video slaps too.
Okay, The Man might be a good song, but the music video was the trippiest fucking thing I've ever seen. It's literally just Taylor Swift dressed like a dude and over-exaggerating the swagger of one.
And you're telling me that Cornelia Street doesn't slap? It's a good song, Donnie. It has those emotional bridges that can make Ronnie Coleman cry.
It can make Ronnie Coleman cry if he was slamming and cycling estrogen instead of the usual cycle of TRT and testosterone. What the fuck are you even talking about, Barack? Cornelia Street is just a song.
You say that now, but I bet you haven't really felt the true meaning behind this album.
Did you guys snort glue or some shit? Why the fuck are we even discussing this? Lover has some good songs, but it's not comparable to the other albums we put at the S tier. It just doesn't have enough bangers, so I'll cast my vote for an A tier. Are you happy? Is the estrogen gonna make you freak out or some shit? A tear is fair and you can suck my balls if you think otherwise.
Donnie, you need to calm down. It's not like we're trying to give you a death by 1,000 cuts. You know, it's not like we forgot that you existed or some shit. 'Cause it's nice to have a friend, especially when you can't find another like me. But anyways, a tear sounds good for lover. Soon you'll get better and enlighten your mind to the afterglow this album will shed on you.
Did you two idiots butt chug the bottle of vodka I have in my room or some shit?
I think he knows, Barack.
For fuck's sake, next album, please.
All right, the next album is Folklore. I have to admit, this album is one of my personal faves, but let's hear what you turds have to say.
I wouldn't call it my personal fave, but I do admit that it has some bangers. The one is a pretty cool song that I like to listen to when I'm destabilizing countries that don't suck American dick. And let's face it, gents, August is pretty fucking good. I'll be happy to put Folklore at a comfortable A tier.
Really, because I was thinking more of a B tier for Folklore. Yeah, it's got some good songs, but there's a lot of songs that I just skip over. You know, I ain't trying to accidentally launch a nuke or some shit while I'm trying to change the damn songs on Spotify. August is a good song, but there's stuff like This Is Me Trying or Exile that just make me want to fall asleep.
Look, I'm fine with an A tier for Folklore, so long as we don't get the pretentious English and literature majors who feel like they gotta swing their dick in helicopter style, saying we don't fully appreciate the full meaning behind each and every fucking song. I'm just here to enjoy music. I couldn't give two shits if Cardigan has some deeper, significant moral meaning behind every goddamn letter in the lyrics. Let's slap it at an A and move the fuck on.
Now wait just a patty flipping moment there, Donnie. You do realize that albums like Folklore are just littered with so much deeper thoughts in each song, right? Taylor Swift literally became Jesus Christ when her albums started to have more significant meanings and themes behind them. You can't just ignore that shit.
Good God, Slow Joe. You might as well dye your hair, cut it short with the top long, and start putting American tax dollars towards your cat army. Are you fucking kidding me right now? Since when did music all of a sudden become something deep? It's not like we're trying to solve the mystery of the goddamn Sphinx. We're not reading the Bible, Joe. We're literally listening to Taylor Swift songs and ranking their albums on their respective tiers. We already agreed on a tier. Let's just move on.
Evermore is up next. Take it easy with this one. This album is pretty good. Up there with Folklore.
My sister in Christ, Evermore is literally just a sequel to Folklore. This is just a throwaway ranking. Willow and Champagne Problems are pretty good, but it's basically the younger sibling of Folklore that happens to have a heroin addiction. Slap this at the low A tier.
Yeah, there's no standout hits to this album. Plus, when I saw Dorothea, I honestly thought it said diarrhea. And when I listened to it, I pretty much had diarrhea as a result of listening to it. The lyrics are cool, but nothing stands out other than a funny song title that reminds me of poop. I'll just bandwagon with Hussein here and go with the low A tier.
Good God, you two morons have no taste at all. Evermore is literally banger central. Also, diarrhea. I could probably name, write, and produce a song with that name, and everyone would go nuts over butts with it.
Taylor, I'm not trying to insult or belittle your talents, but this album has nothing that stands out for it. One of my favorite songs on this album is titled after alcoholism. Just take the A so we can move on to your latest album. I'm very excited to talk about that one.
Yeah, fuck it. A tier, only because I just want to fangirl and obsess about Midnights.
Last album of the video, gents, we've got Midnights. Honestly, this might take the cake for the best album out of the list. So many bangers, so many boner jams. Hard to even choose which song I like the most.
I won't even hesitate to say it. S tier could have, would have, should have hit so fucking hard in the paint. It's probably my favorite song in the whole Al. Wait, what the fuck? What the fuck happened? Why am I a fucking Swiftie?
It's all part of the process, Donnie. You might have hated Taylor Swift music once we were at the first album, but now that we've got your ass on Midnights, your ass is now officially a Swiftie.
Bullshit. I just dropped $1K on goddamn Era Tour tickets. I just dropped another $500 on fucking merch and vinyls. You've got to be shitting me. My tears ricochet at the thought of my bank statement right now.
Donnie, did you just make a clever pun out of a Taylor Swift song?
Laugh it up all you want, Hussein. But just so you know, this arc in the Donald Trump anime ain't gonna last very long. Me being a Swiftie better not be fucking canon.
Well, I can agree that this album is the top of the list. Absolute S tier for me, fellas.
All right, so just for the record, what are we all collectively ranking Midnights?
S tier, S tier, S tier.
God fucking damn it.